Pros and cons of going to herb school online. So because of the pandemic, people have been going to or considering going to online herb school more than probably they would normally do. So that led me to want to make this video. This is my neighborhood and it has a lot of amazing herbal plants in everyone's front gardens, and I'm going to show you some. One thing I want to add before I get started is that these are just my thoughts and ideas, and when I think of online herb school, the thoughts and ideas that I think about. So you may have very different thoughts and ideas, and this is not a definitive list. These ideas maybe you think are totally BS. Number 1, a positive. You can study at your own pace. A lot of physical herb schools have a very set schedule, and you have to study at their speed, you have to learn at their speed, you have to go to class at a specific time, and this can be very difficult when you have a job, when you have other responsibilities. So this gives you immense flexibility on setting your own schedule. When are you going to study? First off, we have echinacea. Echinacea is good for the immune system. Some big poofy rosemary, good for memory. Number 2, a sense of community, a pro and a con. You can have a sense of herbal community both on and offline. They're just different. I feel like herbalism is best experienced live and in person. I guess I prefer this part in person, making medicine, tasting herbs, doing all of the things. Plant identification is really good when you have like a teacher right there and you can be like, hey, and you can show them, you're like, well, what is this and what's going on? And I think that makes it a little harder online. But if we've learned anything about the pandemic, you can still know people, you can still interact with people, you can still feel like you have a sense of community if you only meet them online. I really want to show you this plant. It's called apple mint and it's flowered now. So everything's kind of flowering out. And it's just this, they let it go. And it grows super, super tall and big, and look how floofy the flowers are. And the mint leaves are like ginormous, and it gives like a lovely mellow flavor. So if you love mint, I suggest growing apple mint. It is just so cool. Oh my gosh. Yes. Good morning. Number 3, a negative. You have to be a self-starter. Sometimes you are relying on yourself to set a pace. But if you have a hard time setting aside time to actually do the work, or to maybe have a space to concentrate in your house, it could be very difficult to move through a class. It could take you a really long time. This, my friend, going into the sky there, this is a 2nd year mullein plant. I'm gonna find one you can see actually the flowers on. Hold on. Yeah. These are the mullein flowers. The second year plant shoots up this big stalk. And I'll show you one of the first year plant, which is this guy here. And it looks like this little, they call it a basil rosette, and it's got really soft leaves. Oops, don't tell anybody. But one of the uses for mullein is you can make an oil from the flowers, and it's good for it's helpful for things like for ear aches. You can also buy it in stores. It's like a mullein garlic oil. You can also dry these stalks out and coat them in wax, and they become like a torch. So one of the names for this mullein is I think it's a candle plant, and people used to use them as torches. So really cool. Ooh, this one is pretty. I don't know what it is, but it is really gorgeous. I don't think my camera is capturing how cool this one is. Wow. Ooh, look, there's a pink one. That's awesome. Reminds me of that sunflower we looked at. And there's a chicken. And there's a person. Okay, I got the skinny from that guy sitting on his porch that we almost filmed. But those were sunflowers, but the flowers were another plant, and he thinks they were zinnias. So that's really cool. I love that. Gotta plant me some zinnias one day. Number 4, a positive. You don't have to go to school by you. You can go to a school anywhere in the country that's offering an online learning class, which is cool because even though I live in an area with a ton of herb schools, there are some herb schools in California or in Maine that I'd love to go to. And if they have an online school, then I can go and I don't have to move. I don't have to uproot my life. And sometimes that's really difficult for people if they have families, if they have jobs. Next we have passion flower. I think they're mostly closed from the night before, but you can sort of see them here. It's a vine, as you can see. And this is really good for I take it for mental stress. It's very relaxing. Number 5. It has the potential of being cheaper. Maybe it is not necessarily cheaper in the amount of money you pay for the physical class, but maybe you save money driving there. I went to a school where it was an hour away, and I had to spend the night because it was a 2-day weekend class. So that cost me a lot of money in a hotel fee and a drive, even though it was relatively close. That can be an issue. And I think that some of the online herb schools are able to lower the cost because it's less cost to them. It's less administration cost. It's just, I think the overhead is just less. So they can be cheaper. This is one of my favorite plants. This guy, trying to get you a good example, this guy here is mugwort or Artemisia vulgaris. It's got silver on the undersides of its leaves. It's getting really, really long. In about August, September, it'll start to flower, and that's a good time. You can make smudge sticks from these guys. They're really good for dream pillows. And so you can see, among other things, all these plants I'm talking about have multiple uses. and I'm just hitting some of them. One quick thing before we wrap up, just know this list is a generalization, so please check your herb school of choice, because what applies to one herb school does not apply to another herb school. One online herb school may require you to get the classes finished in a certain period of time. One might not care how long it takes you to finish the course. So just make sure that you're checking. And also there's probably lots of scenarios that I have not included. Number 6. One positive about going to herb school online is that everything is recorded. So it's possible that you can just watch those videos over and over again, and that's really cool because everything's recorded. You don't have to be there in person taking notes, and the notes are kind of all you have of the class. Now some herb schools might let you bring a little voice recorder in. So that's something that you could do in person possibly. Sorry, that's my cat Eugene. Hey buddy! Hey buddy! He's unhappy. I don't know why. He's gotten fed and loved, and he just wants to come out and say hi to me. I hope you've enjoyed my list of the pros and cons of going to herb school online. I hope you found it helpful. Please, if you have any questions or thoughts, please leave them in the comments. And also, if you've had an experience going to one or the other, what did you think? I have a podcast called Stories from the Earth. If you're interested in how we connect with the natural world, or ways to connect with the natural world through story and other means, please check us out. There's a link in the description, and we also have a YouTube channel, so link will also be in the description. So thank you for joining me, and I hope you guys have a lovely day, and I will talk to you later.